my goodness! Hello! Woo! Hi guys! Welcome back to CarTalk. So, today we are getting a little more serious here. I don't even know what this is gonna be like. This will be interesting. I'm interested to see how this will end up. But something that a lot of people don't know about me is I've got anxiety. So I've legit got an anxiety disorder, and I just wanted to share my experiences with it with you guys, because everyone's is a little bit different. And when some people think of anxiety, they're like, oh, okay, they're just like nervous all the time, or they're scared, and it's like everyone's is a little bit different, and that's not how mine is. Yes, I get anxious a little bit more easily more than literally everyone. Part of it is like I have these weird like irrational fears in a way, but there's the other side of it where it's like I get random anxiety attacks, and I get way more anxious easily than the normal person. And it's tough. It's really tough, especially since like when people think of, oh, you've got anxiety or any mental disorder, pretty much I've met people that are like, oh, you're just making it up, this is fake. And it's like, it's really not fake. If someone were to break their arm, you could tell that someone broke their arm. You can see they've got a cast on. But with any mental disorders, you really can't tell most of the time. Sometimes you can, and sometimes it's really obvious, but most of the time, you really can't tell. I know with mine, like, that's why most of my friends don't know, is because they can't tell. And so it's not unless they catch me at one of those bad times where I tell them that they don't know. And with my anxiety, like I said, I have random anxiety attacks, and then I also get super anxious just randomly and all the time. It's kind of weird. Like, some people have their triggers for stuff. I have a few. Putting me in overwhelming situations will make me have an anxiety attack. And being around certain people, I've noticed that legit when I'm around certain people, I'll just be, it's kind of like on edge is how to describe it. If you've never had like an anxiety attack or anything, it's kind of being like on edge and kind of like aware, and you're not yourself, and it's really weird and scary. There's just certain people, I can think of a few in my head, maybe about 10, that I can't, like if I'm in the same room as them, I legit will have a panic attack. Things have happened in my life. Like, there was this one friend that I had in high school, and she, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to explain her, but she would always, if we were hanging out and I knew she was there, I would make up some excuse that I couldn't be there, or like I would leave early, because it was one of those things where like if I told my friends like, oh yeah, she gives me anxiety, I would have some of those friends be like, okay, well, suck it up. And it's like, I can't just suck it up. Like, with this friend that I had in high school, she would be super snarky and super mean, and she would bully everyone over text and Snapchat. And then when we would talk in person, she'd be like, oh my gosh, you look so cute, I love your shirt. And it's like, okay, so are we just gonna push aside everything mean you said about us earlier today? I was like, so I can't defend myself, so being around that person would give me anxiety. It was really tough because it was one of like our main friends in our friend group, so like we were with them all the time, and it got to the point where I just like would stop hanging out with those friends, because it's like when you're with your friends, you want to feel comfortable, you know, you want to feel welcomed and loved by them. And so it's really tough when one of the friends in your friend group, you don't feel those ways. And so I was at home trying to calm myself down. There's been times at work when I've had anxiety attacks. One of them was actually a few months ago. I was working at Payless, and I was working there for a year. This was like the 1 year mark-ish. And I showed up to work, and my boss yelled at me, and she gave me this huge list of things to do, which I had, being there a year, had done none of those things, had no clue what any of them meant, and I had like just clocked in. So I was there for like 2 minutes, and she was like, this all needs to get done today. Our district manager is going to be here this weekend. All of this needs to be done today so that tomorrow morning when he comes in. And it was like, whenever I have panic attacks and anxiety attacks, I've noticed like before it hits super hard, it's like the world is just in slow motion, and I can't hear, I can't think, and it's the weirdest feeling because it's like I'm trapped in slow motion and I can't hear, I can't do anything about it. And so I remember being at work, and I started doing one of those tasks, and about 5 minutes later I was like, I can't handle this anymore, and I ran to the bathroom and I just bust into tears. And I remember at that point feeling like I can't do this anymore. I was on the verge of quitting, and so to come to work and have all of this, it was like, okay. And so I was like sitting in the bathroom for like 20 minutes, and I was texting my mom, and I was like, I need you to come get me now. And when I left the bathroom, my boss was sitting at the computer just doing her thing, and I go up to her and I go, I need to go home. And I was crying, and I was like hyperventilating. I was freaking out. That's what happens, is like on the inside, like I said, everything's in slow motion, and I can't hear, I can't think, I can't do anything. And on the outside, I'm crying, hyperventilating, I'm shaking. I have little things that I do when I have my panic attacks, like when people twitch, or like when they like shake their leg, like when their heel goes up and down, you know? I do that a lot. And she was just on the computer, and she was ignoring me, and she's like, why do you need to go home? And I was like, yeah, I'm having an anxiety attack and I need to go home. I was so blunt with her. I was like, I need to go home. And she again was just on the computer, and she was like, why are you having an anxiety attack? I'm like, oh my gosh. And I tried to explain it to her, and she was like, okay, well, if you're gonna go home early, I need to call our district manager and let him know, and it'll be another write-up for you. And it was this huge deal apparently. It was the worst. I hated it so much. And that was one of the last days I worked there. I don't know, it's really hard to explain if you've never had anxiety before. But other than certain people in certain situations, I can't really predict when it'll happen. And it's really sad, because if it was one of those things, then I would be able to avoid those situations or avoid those places. I was just there crying, hyperventilating, but it's good because I'm able to learn like how to control it and things like that. So like, for example, with that, my mom got a hold of my two best friends, and they came over to my house, and we just like chilled, and it was able to calm me down. And I have this is gonna sound so cheesy and nerdy, but I have this playlist on YouTube, and I just put it on shuffle, and I keep watching until it gets my mind off of what happened and what's going on. It's really, most people don't really have those things to get away from their anxiety, and I don't know. It's really tough, because like I said, like, if you were to normally meet me, I bet most of my friends watching this right now are super shocked. But I hope this opened your guys' eyes a little bit as to what anxiety is to some people, and especially how mine is, because everyone's is a little bit different. This is how mine is. I hope you know that I love you guys all so much. So I want you guys to go and tell someone that you love them or something nice about them, because you won't know if they're having one of those days. And I know that if someone were to randomly text me and be like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I love you, that totally changes everything. I have such a better day, and everything going on totally just wipes out the window. And you guys could totally make someone's day. So if you take anything from this video, I want you guys be able to let someone know that they are appreciated and that you love them. And yeah, so that's my story with my anxiety. It's been going on for like 10, 11 years now. And it's been a rough journey. It's been an amazing journey because of the people that support me with it. But, oh my gosh, it's been a crazy journey. So thank you for everyone who's ever supported me with my anxiety. And thank you for watching today's video. And tune in next week on Storytime Fridays CarTalk with Maddi. Bye!